Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to treat character array as strings. So we have already created a file. I have named it char_array.c. So now we have defined our normal preprocessor directive #include stdio.h. Now we are going to start creating this program. So the first thing we need to do, we are going to define two character arrays. You are going to name the first one string1, and it's going to have size of size. So size of size, I mean that means I'm going to create I'm going to specify the size using symbolic constants. And the way to specify symbolic constant in C, we include it within the preprocessor directive. So I'm going to here under the preprocessor directive section, I'm going to add it as #defined within this keyword #defined, and then in all uppercase letters size, and then I'm going to specify the what value is going to be replaced whenever this particular word size appears. So it's going to be in this particular program, we are going to make use of it as 20. So 20. So whenever the program sees size, is going to replace size with the value with the textual value 20. Due to it is textual, but depending on the context of our program. All right. So to be in brief, whenever it sees any occurrence of this size, of this keyword size, is going to replace it with this textual value 20. All right, so let's continue. So we have char string1. So we have already used size in this particular line number 13. So we have it, and then we are going to initialize it with an empty character, and then we can make a comment, reserve 20 characters. So reserve 20 characters. Okay, now next, the other character array, char string2, and we are not going to specify the size under this particular bracket. We want the program to infer the size of the array from the values that we have initialized the array with. So we are going to initialize it with this particular string. So string literal. So when we count the number of characters here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because a space is also a character. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's going to be initialized with the value, the size of this array is going to be 14. Okay, as we have counted it. So there's a 15 characters. Okay, let me go over it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So actually the number of characters is 14, but is going to initialize it with the value the size of this array is going to be 15, because there's end of line character, which is represented with a /0. So we are going to see this. So that is going to be the 15th character. So it's going to array of size 15 characters. So array of size 15. Okay. So now, and then next we're going to prompt. We are going to since the first string we haven't initialized it, so we are going to initialize it at runtime. We are going to prompt the user to now enter a particular string, and then we are going to initialize it with the we are going to initialize it at the value of string1 array. So let me make a comment. Prompt for string from the user, then read it into array string1. Okay, so I'm going to have print format then now we'll make the prompt. Enter a string, no longer than 19 characters, no longer than 19 characters, no longer than 19 characters. So now the user is going to have this prompt and is going to enter the string. All right, now we need to get this, we need to get the string that the user is going to input via the keyboard and made it available to the program. As we have been doing it before, we make use of our scan format function. So we scan F, and then we are going to specify that this program is going to get conversion specifier for a string is of length of size 19. So the user is going to enter a string of size 19, and then we are going to initialize it. We are going to assign it to this particular memory address string 1, as we have seen it in the last program that we ran, that the name of an array is the same thing as a memory location. So we are not making use of the address of operator as we have been doing before. We don't need to make use of this address of operator because string 1 is already a memory address. So it's already pointing to a memory address. So we're going to a value, that particular value that the user is going to enter is going to be stored in this particular string 1 array. String 1 array, the name of the array is already a memory location, so that is why we don't need to, it's already an address of a memory location, so we don't need to make use of that address of operator in this case. So and also this 19 will make sure that the user does not enter beyond what the array can hold, so that we won't have what we call an overflow, because the size of our array is size 20, but it can only accommodate 19 characters because there is end of line character that is going to be appended at the end of the character array. So we want the user to only enter 19 characters, so that is why we specify the field length as 19, so that the user, anything that the user enter beyond this 19 is not going to be assigned to this particular array. So input no more than 19 characters, input no more than 19 characters. So now next we output the strings. So we have range format, and then we have string 1 is so we can have this new line, and then we have string 1 is string 2, string 2 is also conversion specifier for a string, new line. Now we assign the proper value string 1 and string 2 and string 2. All right, so now we make print. Now we want to print string 1 with space between characters, so string 1 with space between the characters is, and then now we want to make use of, we are going to loop through this particular string 1 and then print out the individual characters. We know the user has entered it as a string in line number 18. So now, but we want to print it out as instead of as a string, as individual characters. We want to loop through the individual characters of that particular character array and then print out the individual characters. So using our normal for loop, we are going to size t, and then I, which is our counter, and then we are going to look through I less than or equal to size, which is the size of the array, and when we have not reached the end of the array. So string 1 element is not the end of character. It's not the end of character. So I can have this backward slash 0. So and then we have this. And 4. So in essence, what we are saying that we initialize a counter within this our variable counter within this array, I to be of size 0. Starting that means we know that array indices begin with the value 0, and we have already seen that this particular data type size t is ideal for initializing the array subscript. And now we will say that the condition is that I should be less than or equals to size. And we know size is the size of the array, which is 2020, as we have defined in line number 18. So I should be less than or equals to size, because we just want to have access to the element of this particular array. We don't want to go beyond the array. And we have two conditions within this particular condition part of this for loop. And then we have and, a logical operator and. We say the other condition is the string 1. The element of this string 1, we make sure that it is not end of line terminating array terminating character. We say that in a character array, we have what you call the null character, a null character. So this is a null character. It has to be terminated with a character array has to be terminated with a null character. So this is a null character that it is going to be terminated with. So that is why we only enter 19 characters in this particular line number 18. So we make sure it is not a terminating null character, a terminating character. So once it is not this, we want to have access to the real character element that the user entered, not this terminating null character. So and then we increment the size of the array indices by 1. So after 0 is going to be 1, is going to be up to when it is less than or equals to this particular size, which is 20. All right. So and then now we want to now proceed to print the individual element. So we have print format. We have C string 1 I, right? Now next we need to put a space after printing out each character. After print out the characters, we print out a space. So let me leave a space here so that after printing each of the individual character, we just have a space between them so that they will not be packed in one place together. And then after everything, we are going to print out an empty string, an empty string, which is basically just print out a new line character. All right. So now let's compile this program, run it, and then see the output, how the output is going to be like. So I'll just come over here, let me clear the screen, and then we have GCC, and then okay, the name of the array is character array, and then we want to output it as character array only. All right, so we have an issue here. All right, foots. Okay, so line number 23, there's no terminating character. Null, that is line number 23, statement terminator. So we put it there. Now save it, go back again, recompile it. So we have a slab and arrow here, multi-character constant. Okay, well, the issue should be this is supposed to be, so this is still 0, not O. So we were right the first time, and this is supposed to be backward slash character, not forward slash. That is why we're having that particular arrow. And then also we need to less than or equals to size. It should be less than size, because we don't want to access the the null terminating character. And also the since we are starting from index 0, then the subscript, the subscript, the indices, the index or the subscript of the last element of an array is always 1 less than the size of the array. So it has to be less than the size of the whole array. That is why we are having I less than size. And then this is a backward slash, not a forward slash. That is why we encounter that particular error. So let me save it, and then we go to the terminal, and then we run this particular program, and then see whether this has resolved the error. Let me minimize this, and then now let's go back, and then try to. So successfully, it has compiled successfully. There's no any error. The error has gone. Let me clear the screen. And then now we can run the character array program, and then see how it is going to look like. So enter a string no less than 19 characters. So we are going to enter a string no less than 19 characters. Let me enter my name, Faisal, and then without space, because this will handle a character array without space. So if we put space, is going to only enter the characters before the first space. So that is why I'm using this underscore, and then this will count. The underscore will also count as part of the characters. So how many has 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then let me enter the third name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is okay. So let me enter. So string 1 is Faisal Ali Garba. As we can see, string 2 is string literal, and string 1 with space between the characters. As we can see, it has printed out the string we enter, Faisal Ali Garba, with spaces this time around. And this we achieve it using our for loop that we use to traverse the array and print out the individual characters. So this is how we're able to treat characters as strings using in C programming. So thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to the channel to have more access to video tutorials like this. Thank you.